The most important relationship, it's the one you have with yourself. As social creatures, we're constantly thinking about how we relate to others, whether it's the ones we love, the ones we work with, the ones we hate, right? And a lot of times, those relationships can affect how we look at things, how the moves we make, and the decisions we make as well. And a lot of times, what often gets neglected is the relationship we have with ourselves. How do we think about ourselves? How do we feel about ourselves? You know, one thing I always think about, and I always tell people, especially when they're struggling with whether it's addiction, struggling for sobriety, their fight for sobriety is, you know, how do you talk to yourself? What is your self-talk sound like? How do you think about yourself when it comes about the things that you're trying to do in life? Because a lot of times your addictions and the negative decisions that you make, right, the self-destructive decisions that you make have a lot to do with how you feel about yourself, the relationship you have with yourself. What does your self-talk sound like? What are the first thoughts you have about yourself and how your day is going to go when you wake up in the morning? That's one of the things that you may want to think about and work on strengthening. In fighting for your sobriety, it's going to be very, very important that you strengthen your relationship with yourself, your self-confidence, your self-esteem, how you feel about your ability to stay sober. All of those things are going to matter a lot more and should matter a lot more than what other people think about you, your relationships with other people. Because if you think about it, the more you strengthen your relationship with yourself and increase the healthy relationship you have with your thoughts, your feelings, right, how you talk to yourself, the better your relationships are going to be with other people, right? The stronger you will feel it, you know, towards your ability to stay and maintain a life of sobriety. And a lot of times, you know, even in AA and a lot of these treatments, they talk about, you know, seeking forgiveness from other people, making amends with other people. And that is very important, right? But you have to, at first, have a strengthened relationship with yourself. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, what does your self-talk look like? You know, do you have a lot of self-doubt? What do you say to yourself in your own mind? A lot of times it's easy to focus on the outside and what the environment and what other people, haters, people, lovers, whoever, think and feel about us, right? But what's really going to determine your trajectory is going to be how you feel about yourself, falling back in love with yourself. A lot of times we enter codependent relationships, right, with alcohol, with substances, and also codependent relationships with other people, right? You have what they call, the chronically monogamous people who always have a boyfriend or girlfriend, right? They never spend time alone. Right? Now, yes, we're social creatures. We're not necessarily meant to be alone, but you have to be comfortable being alone, especially as you work towards living a sober life, because it's going to take some form of separation at one point, and you need to be able to be comfortable with being by yourself, with yourself, because a lot of times what'll lead you to drink is when you're trapped in your own thoughts. There's nothing else around to distract you. There's no other relationship to distract you. Right? So when you're sitting there with yourself, you know, that can cause you to drink if you don't have a relationship with yourself, a healthy relationship, right? That's where meditation comes into play. When you sit with your own thoughts and allow those thoughts to flow through your body like clouds in the sky, instead of necessarily fighting them, right? And regardless of the thoughts or what's going on in your life, still having a positive outlook about your ability to deal with it, right? And in a life of sobriety, your ability to deal with it without alcohol, without drugs, without food, right? Without, overeating or whatever your addiction may be. So I want you to think about that. Sit and think about the first few thoughts that you have in the morning. That's also where the power of affirmations, positive affirmations, saying to yourself when you first wake up, I am a good person. I am a strong person. I am courageous. Even if you may not feel it, saying it out loud, after a while, you will condition yourself to feel that way. The power of the tongue that, is very powerful, right? The power of dealing with your thoughts in a positive way, right, shows an amount of self-respect. When you learn how to deal with your thoughts, your own emotions, sit by yourself, right, and get comfortable in your own skin, being by yourself, being clean and sober and healthy, right? It can be, challenging at first, but as you make active attempt to strengthen your relationship with yourself by improving your self-talk, right, improving how you feel about yourself, talking through those self-doubts that you have and understanding that you can get through them just like you got through the things that you were doubtful of last year or 5 years ago, right? These things can help make you a better and healthier person, which will in turn make you a whole person so that when you do engage in other relationships, whether it's friends, family, or loved ones, right, or romantic relationships, you will be a stronger and better person and bring more to that relationship to help strengthen and build it, right? So start with yourself, look at your relationship with yourself, work on increasing your amount of positive thoughts when it comes to yourself, celebrate yourself, instead of being codependent on people that are on outsides or outside results. Feel instinctively inside of yourself that you are a good person. You deserve to be happy. You can't make another person happy, and you can only share your own happiness. So you work on that, being happy with yourself, being proud of yourself, being proud that you've survived other challenges, being proud of the fact that you failed and you're still here to keep going. You have a lot to be proud of, all right? So strengthen that most important relationship, and that is your relationship with yourself. My name is Hanif with Sobriety in Black, and until next time, peace.